Hey friends, so today's video is a little bit different and I wanted to come to you guys today to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart and it took me a while to overcome. I just want to make a disclaimer. I am not a licensed therapist or psychologist, but I do think that this information will help you guys to identify and spot certain narcissistic behaviors and I just want to give you some tips and tricks to spot them and ways that I personally have overcome narcissistic abuse. And I didn't know, so I'm going to give you guys some background. I was married for 20 years and I didn't know what narcissistic personality disorder was. Now, narcissistic personality is a disorder. It has to be diagnosed. Many people have narcissistic traits, but you cannot just go around saying everybody is a narcissist. But there's a lot of people that are high frequency narcissists and they're with traits, narcissistic traits, and then you have people who have low narcissistic traits. But everybody has narcissistic traits, but it all depends on how people lean into those different traits. So I just wanted to give you guys a brief overview. I'm going to do a little series on the 4 stages of narcissistic abuse, maybe 4 or 5 stages of narcissistic abuse and how it works. And just so that you can spot them in your relationships and you know what to look for. I had dealt with a covert narcissist and then I have dealt with an overt narcissist. The overt narcissist was, it's easier to spot an overt narcissist. It's more difficult to spot a covert narcissist because they tend to be hidden for like really long periods of time. Overt narcissists overtly express what they overtly express their tendencies, and you can kind of pick them up pretty quickly. Projections and all of that stuff, you can spot that pretty quickly. With covert narcissists, it's a little bit different, and it's harder to catch a covert narcissist. I didn't know that the person I was dealing with was a covert narcissist. I didn't even know that there was 2 sides of the spectrum. I didn't even realize that it really took me a long time to spot and identify what he was. So with narcissistic abuse cycle, there's a cycle that you go through when you're dealing with narcissistic abuse. The first cycle is idolization. The second cycle is devaluing. The third cycle is discard. And the 4th cycle is hovering. So if you don't know a little bit about narcissistic behavior or tendencies or traits, idolization is when they kind of like put you on a pedestal, and devaluation is when they start to knock you off the pedestal. Discard is when they kind of like throw you away and you feel it. It's really devastating. And then hovering is after the discard, they kind of like come back and like hover around to see if they still have like that hold on you, that pull on you, to see whether you will take them back for more, abuse, and see what you can sustain. Because if they didn't get you the first time, they will come back, cycle back around, and try to like really take you down the second time or the third time. Where a lot of people are saying that Ashanti and Nelly is kind of like in a narcissistic abusive cycle. I don't know them well enough. I haven't watched them well enough to see. I kind of think they are, but that's another story for another day. So I just wanted to give you guys a background of narcissistic traits and how the system works. And there's tools and tricks that I had to learn. There's people that I had to study. It took me 2 years to identify properly, put up the proper boundaries, and be able to thwart off their offenses. And even now, I'm still dealing with them. They still come back. They still try and try because they're never going to stop. And they want to know how they can like really take you out. And so a lot of empaths or, sensitive people and loving, like empaths, you have to know your type in order for you to understand why you're attracting these people. But I really wanted to talk about, that's a whole nother topic. Narcissistic abuse and the cycle is a whole nother topic. I didn't want to talk about that in this video. I just wanted to give you guys a background if you didn't know what narcissistic abuse was. This video in particular is going to be about the love bombing stage of narcissistic abuse. So In the love bombing stage, you have the love bombing stage is the initial stage when you meet a narcissist, even if you don't know what that kind of looks like. And I'm going to give you guys examples of some of the things that my narcissists have done, so that you can spot it and see it when it happens. So the love bombing stage is the initial stage of narcissistic abuse. And that kind of like is like an idolization period. And that comes in the form of gifts, praise, frequent contacts, affection, like affections, but calls to like extreme degrees of affection. And when it comes to like extreme degrees of affection, it could be anything from like really expensive, extravagant gifts, constantly want to be in communication with you. What other things? Like quickly telling you I love you, like after 2 days, 3 days, a week sometimes. Always wanted to be around you, always wanted to spend time with you, constantly texting you on the phone, trying to get you to quickly fall in love, because that's what in order for the love bombing stage to work, you have to fall quickly, and they kind of move quickly. But if you have proper boundaries set in place, they're not able to like break them down. It takes a little bit of time, and they don't want to waste time. So narcissists really don't focus on people who have strong boundaries, and they can sense that. They know automatically who has like what they're able to pick up on insecurities very quickly, sensitivities very quickly. They're very calculated individuals. So even if they say sometimes they don't know what they're doing, or it doesn't seem like they know what they're doing, they know exactly what they're doing. Trust me, they know exactly what they're doing. And as I like think back to like conversations that was had, like all kinds of things. But a lot of the times in the love bombing stage, they kind of like want to get you. They want to get you. They want to hook you. They want to get their hooks on you quickly. They want to get those feelings going really quickly, because it doesn't work without the love bombing stage achieved. The cycle doesn't work without the love bombing stage achieved. So like I said, it comes with gifts, all extravagant gifts. They just keep giving you like monetary gifts and presents and all kind of things. So excessive compliments is another thing. So they'll always tell you you're beautiful, and oh my gosh, I don't even understand how I'm with you, how we started dating, blah 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 blah, whatever. They want to be with you 24/7, so they're constantly have you on the phone, constantly texting you, where you at, I want to be with you, I want to spend time with you, like all those things. Showering you with very expensive gifts, just to see if you have that expensive taste. They'll shower you with all type of expensive gifts. Now, you don't know where they're getting this money from. Sometimes they have the money to do it, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they use credit cards, like they do all kind of things, but they want to make that initial stage really effective. They'll say things like I love you, like really quickly, like in the first couple of days, and you're like, we just met. Your cognitive brain is telling you that this is not correct, but it causes cognitive dissonance, which allow like you shifting back and forth between the two. Like, I know this is not right, but I like this feeling. So it's kind of like euphoric in a sense. It's kind of like a dopamine high that you're getting from these feelings, because everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to have that feeling. Everybody wants to be loved. So then it'll say, you have the feeling in your heart, in your body, in your mind, like this is too good to be true. This is my knight in shining armor. Like, this is it. This is my Prince Charming. These are the type of feelings that you exude when you deal with a narcissist. And they create false visions of themselves based on what you like. So a lot of the times when people ask you, people have tendencies to ask you things like, what do you like in a man and stuff like that? Or what do you like in your mate? Or what are you looking for in your next mate? You have to be really calculated about what you want, what you tell people, because they will morph into that human that you want for the time being, and then use that in order to hook you. So you just want to be really, really careful about the things that you say to narcissists, because narcissists, they will tell you little bits about themselves, like they breadcrumb you and give you little bits about themselves, but they ask you a bunch of questions and want to get your whole background about you, because they're storing this information to use it against you later. So you have to be really, really careful of what you disclose. You have to be really tight-lipped in the beginning. You don't want to tell them something that they can use against you later, or something, because they do it. Trust me, it took my narcissist 20 years before he threw something like very, very personal and near and dear to my heart and very hurtful to me back in my face. And then when I confronted him about it, he said he never said it, which was a lie. My second narcissist didn't do it yet, but he did every other trick in the book, because this one was covert, and he's still trying, because they think you're not onto them. And then also, if you know that you have come across a narcissist or a narcissist type spectrum person, you really don't want to disclose to them. Sorry, I said the wrong word. You really don't want to disclose to them that you know that they're a narcissist. You don't want to call them that. You don't want to disclose it to them, because then it turns on full abuse. And they do things like, oh, let's move in together very, very soon, like in the next couple of months, we moving in together. And they don't even know you. And then you got to get to know them. So as I watch shows like 90 Day Fiance, there's one particular person on 90 Day Fiance who has plenty of narcissistic traits. And I wish this young girl sees it, because I see it, but I don't think she does. I really don't think she does. But he literally has not narcissistic tendency. He is high on the spectrum, because he uses word salads. He is literally trying to knock her down and humble her. That's what they do. He initially shower her with gifts and compliments, like, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful, I don't even know how you date. But now he is trying to force her to do things that she doesn't want to do. There's a whole bunch of things that I can list out that he's doing to her that I see and I notice, but I don't want to, I'm not like I said, a doctor, so I cannot diagnose him. And in order to be diagnosed, a lot of times, narcissists have to sit on a couch and be diagnosed, and they won't do that. Anyway, so with the love bombing stage, you have two stages of not two stages of love bombing, but there is things that you have to look out for. Like I said, really high, intense, and moving really, really quickly, right? So you have an intense bond that feels too fast, really intense, and you're like, dang, this is moving really, really fast, and I really, really like him, but you don't really know that much about him. It's just he's telling you all the things that you want to hear, because you've already told him what your archetype person is, and they're using that. They will research you. They researched you on things. A lot of narcissistic men have that Delilah spirit, like that. I don't know what they call it for men, but it's for women. It's called Delilah spirit, but that's what they have. Intensive communication that progresses really quickly, right? And they really want to get you to talk about sex really quickly, because they are really good in that area. Both of the people that I was dealing with, they had Kama Sutra books. I found Kama Sutra books, because they know that connection and that spiritual bond helps to intensify, the bond between you guys, the trauma bond between you guys. They give gifts above and beyond extra. So the covert narcissist that I was dealing with used to give me in the beginning, monetary gifts, all kinds of gifts, which I suspect that one of the gifts came from his ex-girlfriend. And I was just like, wow. Yeah, but then he would do buy all these extravagant gifts for a bunch of women. But that's neither here nor there. But I'll tell y'all at the end my experience. So then, they put you on a pedestal and pressure you to be a certain way, and then they'll turn around and mistreat you. But that's another stage in narcissistic abuse. emotional availability used to manipulate the partner. So what they'll do is in the very beginning, in the love bombing stage, they'll seem very attentive, very emotionally attentive. They want to help. They want to be there for you, da, 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 da. And you feel like, oh, wow, you know, this is somebody I can depend on. This is the person that I could actually like, this is it. Like, this is what I'm looking for because this is what I'm lacking in other areas. And so you get attached really, really quickly. But these are warning signs that you want to avoid when you have someone who is doing these things. But you have to be cognitively aware of what's going on. And by being cognitively aware of what's going on, I mean that you need to be very attentive to the behaviors, the actions of this individual. I'm at a stage now where action speaks louder than words. Don't tell me anything that you're going to do, what you're going to this, that. I need you to show me that. If you are interested in me, then you have to show me that. If you want to know what kind of person that I like, I won't know. I'm going to tell you that I don't know until I see it. So whatever you show me is maybe possibly what I'm looking for. If it's not what you're showing me, then I'm not looking for it. And I'm not going to give you the key. So you ladies have to stop giving these people the key to your archetypical person that you're looking for as a mate in the long run, because these are the things that they use against you. So that's just what I wanted to look for. These are the stages of love bombing. These are the things that you want to look for. If you guys want me to talk more about this, I can make more videos about the different stages of narcissistic abuse and how I overcame my narcissistic abuse. I'm still dealing with it, but I have tools in place now to combat such behaviors. So I'll give you 2 examples of the initial stages of my narcissist. One I was dealing with, one I was not. This was going to be a potential relationship, but this was in the beginning. I had figured the second one out in the beginning stages of my, we were kind of like trying to get something going, but then I started to realize what kind of person he was, and I was just like, all right, we're going to have to cut this off. Once I put up a boundary, he immediately stopped contacting me. So the first initial abuse was when I met this person, and we were talking on the phone. So we would text back and forth a lot, but literally we were texting like all day, from like 6 o'clock in the morning, because normally I'm up at 6 o'clock in the morning, all the way till it was time to go to bed. Sometimes 5 o'clock in the morning, all the way up until the time to go to bed. We were on the phone for like hours at a time, like all day, on the phone all day, talking all day. Like when he was on his way to work, he would call me and we would talk for like hours. When he was on his way to a site, he would call me and we would talk for like hours until he had to start work. Then when he went to lunch, he would call me and talk to me throughout his lunch break. Then when he was on his way home from work, he would call me and talk to me. Like we would talk all day from like morning to night. And then like after he finished showering, by the time he got home, after he finished showering and everything and taking care of that stuff, he would call me back and we would just be talking. He would tell me how beautiful I was. He would tell me like all the things that I wanted to hear. I don't even understand how I got you. Like, I really, really like you. You're really, really beautiful. Like all kinds of things. And then when we would do, he would say weird things to me like, you're going to be mine forever. And that clicked in my head because I didn't like those things being said to me. But everything else felt so great that I kind of like outweighed that portion of it. But then he would always say it. And I used to be like, what the heck? Why does he keep saying this? Like, why does he keep saying this? Like, why? You're going to be mine forever. You're going to be mine forever. And I'm just like, what the heck? What the heck? You know, I used to say it to myself all the time, but everything else kind of like outweighed that. So I didn't really push into my instinct and trust my instinct to know that this was like really bad. So kind of long story short, those were the initial stages of the love bombing stage. I was going through a rough patch in my life, and he was always there giving me advice and talking to me, not knowing that he was storing this information. It was going to in turn use that to abuse me. And 9 times out of 10, Narcissistic trait people will latch on to people who they know who will give second chances and third chances and all that stuff, that don't have strong boundaries. Your boundaries are weak. And at the time, my boundaries were super weak. I didn't even have boundaries. I didn't even know what a boundary was. And I was used to, because of my situation that I was with, I was used to giving multiple chances, taking you back and taking you back and taking you back and taking you back, not even realizing that this is a cycle that I was dealing with. Didn't realize it. But after research, it took me 2 years to research and figure out, and actually I blame myself for a lot of the things, because I'm like, you're smarter than that. How can you allow yourself to be going through that? But it was subconscious, and it all stemmed from childhood things, childhood traumas that I didn't know I had. I was just walking through life and living life like if everything was peachy, not knowing that I was inundated with all of these childhood traumas that I needed to work through and get over. It was another thing that helped me get through. Oh, I'll talk about that later. The second instance of the love bombing, but this one I caught pretty quick because I was already out of the abusive behaviors. I was able to see straight. Everything was clear. I was doing my research, listening to Dr. Ramani and all the other great people who have content on YouTube and other places about narcissistic abuse. And they taught me things like gray rock and a whole bunch of things like no contact and all kind of things that helped me to get where I am today. But the second person and example that I want to give you guys. So there was this guy that I used to talk to all the time at the school that I used to work at. And we were just friends. He was cool. We were just friends. He was a good person to talk to, good conversationalist, very intelligent. But we were just friends. And when I kind of like got out of everything that was going on, we used to talk back and forth, but then we kind of lost contact. And then I kind of hit him up just to see how everything was going, just to talk and see how everything was going, being that I didn't live in that state anymore, and just to have a conversation with somebody. But I kid you not, the first time we spoke on the phone for like 5 minutes, and everything was good. Conversation was still good. We were laughing and joking and whatever. And then I got off the phone. But then once I got off the phone, he hit me up and was like, I want to talk to you more. I really like the way the conversation was going. I want to talk to you more. So I was like, okay, well, I'll talk to you tomorrow, whatever the case may be. I kid you not. From the moment I woke up, this dude was texting me like all day, like back to back, texting me. And even I wasn't even responding, but he was just texting. And I'm like, yo, this is like, what's happening? Then he was calling me. I wasn't answering the phone. Calling me. Then he was texting me. Why you not answering your phone? I'm trying to call you. I'm trying to talk to you. I'm trying to call you. I'm trying to talk to you. So then this happened for 2 days. 2 days, and I wasn't responding back, no nothing. But he kept being persistent, like really on it. And I was saying to myself, like, yo, this is crazy. This is too much. Like, you doing too much. You want to always call me. You want to always be on the phone with me. You want to always text me. And I'm just like, this is too much. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is love bombing. It clicked in my head, like, this is love bombing. So what I did was, on the third day, I called him, because I'm that type of person. Like, I don't want to say anything through a text. I need you to hear me. So I called him and I told him personally, verbatim, this is moving too fast. You need to slow down. And we got off the phone, and he never contacted me again. Never contacted me again. You know why he never contacted me again? Because I put up a boundary that he was not willing to abide by, and he knew that I had boundaries now, and he doesn't want to deal with somebody who has boundaries. And I was articulate about my boundaries, and I could articulate them to him clearly and concisely, and he didn't like that. And they tend to not like, people of narcissistic abuse who are narcissistic abusers, they tend to not like people who have boundaries and who can articulate their boundaries strongly. Because they always want somebody with weak, wavering boundaries who can continue to change, and they can manipulate and move. But and he never contacted me again. And when I say never, like never contact me again after that conversation on the phone. And so that is the advice that I would give to you if you want to kind of spot narcissistic abuse, and In the love bombing stage, these are the things that you have to look at. If you want to throw it off narcissistic abuse, you have to set boundaries for yourself. Create boundaries for yourself and articulate them well to this person. And a person who is not on the spectrum, who is willing to like want to date you, work out with you, and like work things out with you, and kind of like navigate the dating space with you, they will respect your boundaries. People who respect your boundaries and understand and are okay with you having boundaries, they're kind of sort of healthy people. They will not disrespect your boundaries. So those are the people that you have to look at, and these are the things that you have to spot initially in the beginning. The warning signs are there. You have to not ignore them. They call them red flags. I call them warning signs and red flags, but you have to be able to spot them, identify them, classify them, and then combat them. And that's just the bottom line. And that is how you navigate the space of love bombing. So if you guys want me to make more videos about narcissistic abusive cycle, I can give you more stories on what other tactics I use to overcome these things, how I deal with these people in my life now, because I have to deal with them for a little while longer in my life, and how I combat them, and the techniques that I use that I've learned from people like Dr. Romney and other educators online. And a lot of the times the narcissistic abuse starts in your family, and you have to be able to spot it and identify it. And when I learned these tactics and these tricks, I used them against certain people in my family, and it helped me identify. Even though I had known that they were these kind of people, it helped me just seal the deal and understand that, okay, this is a person of a narcissistic abuse type, and this is how I deal with them. So if you guys want me to talk about any more information about the devaluing stage, the discard stage, and the hovering stage, I can, because I was able to classify both of these individuals, more so the covert narcissist, into all of these behaviors, and I was able to pull out in my memory little things that showed me these stages and helped me classify this person as a covert narcissist. Now, again, covert narcissists are very hard to spot. They hide their spots very well. Overt narcissist is a little bit different. Very, very different. So you have to be able to figure out which is which. But like I said, like the video, comment down below if you guys want me to talk about the devaluing stage of narcissistic abuse. I can do that as well, and I will give you tips and tricks on how to spot that as well. And these are my personal experiences. And again, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist, like any of those things. These are just from my personal experiences that I wanted to share with you guys to help you guys navigate this space. But I wanted to read something to you guys before I got off this video. And it says, the idolization stage is sometimes called the honeymoon stage, is where the narcissist puts you on a pedestal. It's intoxicating, consuming, and exciting. 100% correct. The idolization stage has lots of feel-good vibes flowing. That is the truth. It's full of hope and endless possibilities. So that's why I had to tell one of my clients last week, like, don't date potential. Date something else. Just don't date potential, because that'll get you caught up all the time. And we tend to do that initially. But like I said, if you guys really want to see more content like this, and to show, so I can give you personal examples on how I navigated the narcissistic space and the abusers that I had in my life, I can do that. But you have to like the video, and you have to leave a comment below in order for me to move on to the devaluing stage. Also, a big part of me overcoming the narcissistic abuse that I was dealing with in my life, whether it been family or relationship-wise, I had to get in touch with God. Like, I had to get in my Bible, I had to pray, I was crying, like all of the things. It took me 2 years to navigate that space. I had to pray for discernment with God. I had to pray to overcome. There was a lot of things because I was on a, like, I had like, I wanted to unalive because I felt like I was in such a really low place. I literally felt like I had to claw my way out of this space. It was so black in there for me. And every day I woke up, and the only thing that motivated me to move forward was the certain people in my life. But I had to put God first, and I had to pray really, really hard every day. Pray and fast every day. Change every day. So if you guys want me to talk, like I said, if you guys want me to talk about the devaluing stage and what comes in that stage and how that is occurred and how that happened in my life, I can definitely do that. But I definitely wanted to share this video with you guys just to educate you a little bit and learn how to navigate these systems in order to see the people that you are dealing with in your life. And again, it doesn't have to be somebody you're dating. It could be a family member operating on the same wavelength. But you still want to know how to spot those people, and you want to know how to navigate that space. So don't forget to like the video and make a comment if you want me to move on to the devaluing stage, because I definitely can do that. Thanks for you guys for stopping by. Thank you guys for watching my content, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.